All right, let's talk about the win that I took on NAS today, July 8th, 2026. So basically, what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at price selling off a bunch, and I'm like, okay, we sold off a bunch. Like if I go back to the 4 hour yesterday, I was pretty much looking at that head and shoulders pattern, and we did exactly that. We formed a green candle, which was the retest, and as you can see, we just pretty much dumped. Like if I zoom in a bit, this head and shoulders pattern. You see here, we just green candle. We pretty much retest right around the neckline, barely got to it, and we just dumped like it wasn't no tomorrow. So when we go back down to the 5 minute, I'm like, all right, cool. We did all that. We did all that. Now it's time for a retracement. So I'm looking pre-market, and I'm like, well, um, let me draw a trend line. So I'm looking at this trend line here, and I'm like, all right, cool. We pretty much we got an actual trend line, and I'm like, all right, I'm looking pre-market on a 5. I'm pretty much looking at buys. That's like initially that's what I'm looking at because I'm like, all right, man, we got buys. And then I actually was like, no, I think I'm gonna do sales. The reason why is because of the news. We had FOMC, and also Trump is talking spicy against Iran. Typically, when that happens, we're selling. That the United States is now starting back their offensive bombing against Iran in that area. So I'm like, all right, man, I think we're gonna sell. And at the time, really before, like right before market opens, this news was like fresh. I mean, we're talking 30, 40 minutes fresh. So I'm like, all right, man, I think I'm gonna look out for sales, right? If we break structure and we get above this area, I'm gonna look for buys. But other than that, what I did is I pulled out the old Fibonacci, and I'm like, all right, we pretty much at the golden zone. We could actually like maybe peek up here a little bit and just go to do sales. If we get up in this area and start looking for buys, right? At the same time, we do got this trend line coming here. We do have, a we do got. If I'm looking here, I'm like, okay, I got my rejection candle at a zone because again, that's my strategy. I like to do support and resistance. I like to buy at demand zones and sell at supply zones, right? Which supply zones is resistance, demand zones is support. So this is a support. Whenever price is under, we sell. Whenever price is above, right? Typically a place where price reacts to. I got these lines drawn. This is an indicator. Just I can draw these lines. It just takes a little time. I can go and do a line and do all that jazz, but indicator just save me a little time. Do chart my support and resistance. Typically where a price area that price reacts to. So I'm like, all right, we got from here to here. If I can get a candle to give me a rejection candle and pretty much give me a launch engulfing candle or a micro or macro engulfing retest, but I can take this down to this zone. However, I'm already have my red rejection candle to the downside, and this another candle rejection to the downside wicking. We closed above. However, if this candle, like say if the market opens, we engulfed, and then we can come back and retest this area. I can pretty much take buys up to around this area, take profit, maybe come back, retest right here, and we come back and make a higher high. So that's kind of was my game plan, right? So right away when the market opened, boom, we shot up like it ain't no tomorrow. We got pretty much to this area. And then what happened after that? Price came down. I was looking to get in. I really wasn't comfortable at this point in time of taking buys. As you can see, price never came. Like maybe if price would have came and touched this area on more of a macro engulfing retest, because this is a micro candle next to it. We get engulf, it comes back to this candle, we buy, we get in, take it up to the top. However, on a higher time frame, this right here is a candle, and this right here is a candle. So we come back, right? We touch this area, we can buy, take it up to the top, put the stop loss down here. So price didn't do that. Price didn't come and tag us, right? Instead, what price did, we came and we created a rejection candle up here. Now, if I go into the 1 hour, what do we got? We got 1, 2, 3 times now. Price is pretty much looking like it's rejecting. If I extend this even more, we're gonna see some more rejection. So I'm like, this is a good area to actually take a sales. At the end of the day, my bias is sales. And also, do we got a trend line? Also, what do we got? We have this right here. We have this line here, which is a line that I drew, is an extension of this one. This is the area where price rejects. So you see, as we're above this line, we buy, and as we're below this line, we sell. So we have a trend line, and we have a resistance. We have the supply zones, which we sell from, right? You sell at supply and you buy from demand. So I'm like, all right, cool. There's 2 confluences that we actually you can sell. So at this time, what I wanted to do is I really wanted to get the details and the nitty gritty was going on. So what I did is I actually dropped down to the 1 minute, and I'm like, all right, let me start looking at this thing on the 1 minute. That's what I did. So start looking at this thing on the 1 minute. So I let price cook on a 1 minute, just because it goes above that pretty much can be a wick, which is exactly what it was. If you go into the 5 minute time frame, you're pretty much looking at something like this. All right. So on the 5 minute time frame, now we have an engulfing candle of the green candle. So we got an engulfing, number 1. Okay, 2 rejection candles. Okay, they're wicking. Number 2, rejection candles, and we have an engulfing. Then we got number 3, we got a trend line, right? Number 4, we got a resistance zone. So that's 4 confluences. I'm ready to get into this trade. However, if you actually drop to the 1 minute, you see here what happened is this candle pretty much engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4. So the last four candles, we pretty much got engulfed. We're at a zone. We got a rejection candle. I'm like, all right, cool. What I did is I drew my candle, my box right around here, and I'm just waiting for the next candle to come up into this area and give me a nice test. So that's what this candle did. It came back into this area. Once we pretty much got, let me go back to the 5 minute. Once we pretty much got to right around this area, I pretty much entered to trade. So from here to here, I was in drawdown. So short, I pretty much entered right around here. My idea was to take it to this next zone. All right, and then my stop loss was right here. So I'm looking to take it to no, actually, I actually was looking to take it to, I think here. I was actually looking to take it to this zone here. Okay, so when we look on the 1 minute, so when we look at price came down, it came back up, right? So we're kind of just going back and forth on drawdown. If you look how much time this is, and I got my entry, I mean, we pretty much looking at I think we was pretty much price was bouncing around for like 10 minutes. I didn't like the way price was moving. I automatically had the mindset that we were going to do a lot of consolidation because we did have major red folder news, was FOMC today too. However, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, all right, I think it's definitely going to sell. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, on the 1 minute, 1 minute don't really hold any weight as far as like structure of the actual, but I'm like, all right, we are forming this, right? We do have this little doji candle at the top. We tried to come back up. We got doji. We're rejecting like crazy to the top. Okay, so we got a doji, we got a rejection, we got a little head and shoulders pattern, we got a trend line, we got a resistance. And I'm like, all right, I just think price is going to sell. We're in this drawdown. Price came up. more than half. It's in the last quadrant before it actually stomps me out. So I'm like, all right, man, I may lose this trade. So I'm like, if price gets back down to this area and beats this candle, I'm like, yeah, we're looking good. Um, Boom, price came back up. So as you can start to see, I'm like, okay, what's going on? Boom, as you can see, price really came up. I'm like, all right, I'm probably gonna lose this thing. However, I jump back out to the 1 minute, to the 5 minute, and I'm like, all right, let's just see about the next five. Let's see how this candle closes. And as you can see, the candle closed beautifully. We came down, very nice. I was watching this on the 1 minute, just curious to see the details. So you can see we bounced around here. Which I don't like. I don't like spending a lot of time in drawdowns. Reason why I like spending a lot of time in drawdowns because my A plus setups, I don't really spend a lot of time in drawdown. Like I probably spend like not even a minute in drawdown before it shoots off. So I'm like, all right, this is actually looking like a setup in which I'm probably going to lose. So with that in mind, right, all that, so we finally break and we finally get going. Um, I did end up taking some profit once we pretty much started retracing, and I was like, if we get a red candle that gets beat by a green candle, man, I'm out. So at this point in time, um, let's see, what did I get out at? So once price started coming like right here, right, I'm like, I'm out, right. So took a little profit. It was a little profit, right. I had my things in break even. What ended up happening though, price actually came back up, and price end up actually, if I keep clicking, price end up actually coming down and hitting my take profit. Price end up actually coming down, hit my take profit, right? Which was actually here. For some reason, I thought price was down here, but actually, my take profit was here. So I was looking to get a little 1.5, right? A little scalp on the day. So I'm like, okay, it is now, what time is it? It's like 11 a.m. right here. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's that. Okay. So the thing is, my original plan at this point in time, when price was actually up here before I actually got in for a sale, I'm thinking, all right, if price could actually, we're at this powerful long zone of resistance. If we can actually come down and we can actually beat these lows, right? Come back, we break it, we retest. I was pretty much looking to pretty much enter into a sell from here to here. That was actually the original plan, right? So I'm off the charts. At this point in time, I'm off the charts. I'm not even paying attention. So once we actually end up getting down here, I'm like, ooh, right? I think once we I think at this point, if I'm not mistaken. So let me draw this here. So once we pretty much break this, we got a rejection candle. Um, I think this one is what I was looking at. We got a candle that printed outside of the zone. And I think this is the candle I was looking at because it got engulfed. So I pretty much was looking for price to pretty much retest this area. Uh, trying to remember what happened. Okay, boom. Price engulfed. Mm, 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 mm. So I can't quite remember actually what happened. I think, let me see, let me go short. I think I got in like right here, and I was looking to pretty much take it down to the zone. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is what happened. Yeah, I was looking pretty much to make a sell and take it down to this zone. However, price end up reversing. And again, I was unsure for the day because number one, how price was moving. Number two, we got FOMC. So I'm like, all right, it's red folder news today. I'm being extra careful. I'm hitting base stops. I'm not really taking any drawdown. Like once price break out of my red zone, and if it starts to go back, I'm just gonna go ahead and close out my positions. So once price actually started getting above this area, like it's gonna engulf this red candle, that's when I actually took my profits. So you know, it was small profits on the day, not terribly, nothing crazy. Today was a win.